Welcome to Everything Casual, bringing you original football casual videos from the golden era of the 80s and 90s, right up to current day. Football away day stories and historic clashes between football firms. Subscribe so you don't miss out. We upload videos every week.
Ryan Ferguson's name sits at the intersection of two Wales that have long overlapped in British street culture: football violence and political extremism. Known first as a football hooligan and later as a far-right activist, Ferguson's story is one built from court records, media reports, protest footage and criminal convictions. It is a story shaped as much by public disorder and football bans as it is by ideology, associations and a growing online presence. What that story represents, whether political expression, racial hatred or something more complex, is left for the viewer to decide. Born and raised in Liverpool, Ferguson became involved in football culture at a young age, gravitating toward the hooligan subculture linked to Tranmere Rovers FC. By his late teens, he was already known to police in the courts. In 2019, he received a 5-year football banning order for pitch invasion, restricting him from attending matches and from being within 500 metres of any designated football stadium before, during or after games. The order did little to change his behaviour. He repeatedly breached the ban, travelling to fixtures and matchday locations in direct violation of the court order. These breaches led to multiple arrests, convictions and suspended sentences, cementing his reputation as a persistent football offender. Ferguson's national profile changed in April 2024 during a League One match at Forest Green Rovers' new lawn stadium in Nailsworth. During the game, he racially abused professional footballer Jordan Garrick, shouting a racist slur that was clearly heard by players, stewards and spectators. He was immediately apprehended by security and arrested by police, initially giving false details about his identity. Court proceedings later confirmed that he was still subject to the football banning order at the time and had already breached it multiple times. He admitted charges of racially aggravated public order, failing to comply with a football banning order under the Football Spectators Act 1989 and obstructing a police officer. The court heard that Garrick had been left shaken by the incident, describing himself as shocked and disgusted by what had been shouted at him. The magistrates concluded that the offending was so serious it exceeded their sentencing powers, and Ferguson was later jailed. He would ultimately receive a custodial sentence and a further extended football banning order, effectively removing him from live football environments for years. Following his release, Ferguson did not retreat from public life. Instead, his focus shifted away from stadiums and toward political activism. In 2025, he began appearing regularly at anti-migrant demonstrations across the northwest, particularly in Manchester and surrounding areas. His presence at these events, often at the front of marches and rallies, brought him into close contact with far-right organisations and activists. He was photographed at demonstrations alongside figures linked to Britain First, including its leadership, and appeared in protest footage wearing clothing associated with neo-Nazi symbolism. His activism escalated in July when he attended an anti-migrant protest outside the Cresta Court Hotel in Altrincham. During the demonstration, he openly chanted support for National Action, a prescribed neo-Nazi organisation banned under UK terrorism legislation. He went further, claiming the group would return on a specific date. Although nothing materialised, his public promotion of a banned organisation led to his arrest under terrorism legislation, marking a significant legal escalation from public order offences to counter-terrorism charges. In the weeks that followed, Ferguson became involved with media-driven protest campaigns and online activism. He appeared in content linked to the No Filter Britain movement and took part in a Raise the Colours campaign in Blackpool, hanging flags and promoting upcoming demonstrations. During this period, he was filmed telling viewers that one of the planned marches would be whites only, explicitly excluding people of colour from attending. This footage circulated widely online and became a defining moment in his public image. At the same time, Ferguson announced his intention to visit Jack Renshaw in prison and was later overheard speaking to him on the phone in online clips. Renshaw, a former member of National Action, had been imprisoned in 2019 for plotting to murder a member of Parliament, a plan disrupted following intelligence provided by anti-extremist groups. He is also a convicted child sex offender. Ferguson stated that the visit was personal and that he wanted to get things off his chest, but offered no detailed explanation for maintaining contact. His association with Renshaw caused divisions within far-right circles, with some activists distancing themselves from Ferguson, citing both his behaviour and his support for National Action. The No Filter Britain protest in Blackpool in January became another defining episode. Around 100 people attended, including representatives from Britain First, the British Movement and the National Rebirth Party. Ferguson's prior whites-only statements followed him into the event. When challenged by another attendee, footage shows surrounding activists initially denying knowledge of his comments. When the video was played to them, the atmosphere reportedly shifted, with visible discomfort and silence. Later during the protest, Ferguson was filmed performing a closed-fisted salute and shouting "Sieg Heil." He was also involved in multiple confrontations, requiring intervention from other protesters to prevent further violence. A public split followed between Ferguson and other organisers, who announced future demonstrations with messaging that emphasised inclusivity and distanced themselves from his rhetoric. Despite this, his rise within activist spaces highlighted a broader pattern: the overlap between football hooligan culture, street activism and far-right politics. Ferguson had effectively transitioned from being known primarily as a football lout to becoming a visible figure in nationalist and ethno-nationalist protest movements. Alongside protest activity, his criminal record continued to grow. Court documents show more than 20 convictions for 29 offences, ranging from public order and banning order breaches to malicious communications and wasting police time. In late 2024, he was sentenced to prison for making multiple false emergency calls to 999, reporting violent incidents that didn't exist. Police resources were repeatedly deployed, only for officers to find no disturbances. When arrested, Ferguson described himself as both a football hooligan and a far-right journalist, a self-definition that reflected how he now framed his identity. Social media footage linked to him shows repeated appearances at demonstrations across Liverpool, Cumbria, Leeds, Altrincham, Hoylake and Blackpool. In these clips, he calls for mass deportations, border closures and refers repeatedly to the movement. Other videos show him confronting pro-Palestine demonstrators, accusing them of supporting terrorism. His imagery, clothing, language and associations place him clearly within the visual and cultural landscape of contemporary British far-right activism. At the same time, court statements from defence solicitors present a different narrative, one of immaturity, environmental influence and gradual radicalisation through football culture and peer groups. Lawyers have described him as someone who grew up immersed in anti-social football circles, where racist language and behaviour were normalised, and who later carried those attitudes into political activism. Courts, however, have consistently treated his actions as serious criminal conduct rather than youthful indiscretion, imposing prison sentences and long-term restrictions on his movement. Ryan Ferguson's story isn't a simple one-line label. It moves from football terraces to courtrooms, from banning orders to prison sentences, and from hooliganism to extremist politics. It includes racially aggravated offences, repeated breaches of court orders, promotion of a banned organisation, and high-profile involvement in street protests. It also includes claims of political motivation, activism, and ideological belief. Whether his message is viewed as political expression, racial hatred, or extremist ideology, or something more complex, is left for the viewer to decide.
What you've just listened to is not the opinion of Everything Casual. We just wanted to put the facts about Ryan Ferguson to you and let you decide, is Ryan Ferguson racist or right in his views?
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you subscribe, you will be notified when we release a new video. It could be your firm we make a video about next, so don't miss out and hit the subscribe button. You can find me on Facebook or email me if you have a good story to tell. See you next time.